we've been doing a lot of work in the last few years, particularly on bullying. And we've implemented a number of resources and programs, and we really want to make sure that we continue thinking about bullying and understand what else we can do to prevent it. So I think when it comes to bullying, and especially what people call cyberbullying, I don't really like this term, because for me it's part of a bigger phenomenon, which is just bullying, which has existed for thousands of years, hundreds of years. And I think when bullies want to abuse somebody, they will turn to whatever means is at their disposal. In my time, in the 90s, you would give little bits of paper in the classroom and you'd write down really nasty stuff about somebody, and you'd find them in your bag. And then as technology evolves, it can be hundreds of SMS messages, and then it just moved on to our social media or other places. So the technology and the means is just a tool. And teachers have been a really important voice for us. So a lot of the resource that we have developed on bullying also address teachers as well as parents and young people. So for example, as a teacher, what do you do if you realize someone in your class is being bullied? Or what do you do if you realize you have a bully in your classroom? I think one place that I would really encourage you to check is our safety center and our bullying prevention hub, because it has those resources for teachers, including in Turkish. So things like staying calm, engaging in dialogue with the bully or with the person being bullied to really try and understand what's happening. Not coming from a place of judgment, but really trying to understand what's going on. And then very practical steps to make sure that you can remediate the problem, including online, and follow up. One of the things that we've been doing is to also engage bystanders. We know it's hugely important when young people see something happening online that they can stand up to bullies or raise awareness of the issue with a teacher, for example, or someone they trust. So everything we've done is really to reassure young people that they have nothing to fear, and the first step is speaking up. So for me, all of the tools that we've put in place aim to empower the young person to also speak up, and aim to empower parents and teachers to have that extra conversation. So removing a bad photo is a great first step, but it's not going to solve the issue. We need to get to the root of the problem, and this can only be solved through discussion. So all of the work that we're doing with kids and teachers is to reassure them and empower them, and understand that it only takes one person to stand up, even in a very gentle way, for people to rally around it and find the courage to say, actually, I agree with this friend, I don't think it's cool what you just said. I think looking beyond cyberbullying, there are lots of very practical skills that we think every student and every adult actually should probably have. The first one I would say would be to be self-aware and understand what is responsible sharing. So I may be comfortable sharing a very personal piece of information about myself, and that's okay if I understand who can see it. So this kind of self-awareness and responsible sharing is a good place to start. The second one, I would say that being critical is really important. So it's nice to have people who can ask questions and would think before they do something, is this really real, or does it sound too good to be true? Thinking, is this an advert? Is this person trying to be deceitful? Another thing would be to have the courage to stand up to your friends, or and that can be very difficult. It could be that your friend has said something that is not very nice about another person, and you may send them a private message to say, hey, I don't think what you did was very nice. That takes a lot of bravery. In terms of practical tips for teachers, if I could think of maybe 3 or 5 practical tips, the first one would be to stay calm and realize that we're also working with them. And when I say we, I mean the industry. I'm speaking on behalf of Facebook today, but many other platforms are fighting the good fight. There are means for teachers to contact Facebook or Instagram or other platforms to say, hey, there is a child in my classroom and here's an instance of bullying, can you please remove it? The second advice, I think, would be to not be scared of technology. Even if teachers are not comfortable with Facebook or with any social media, they can contact us, they can report things to us. As long as they have an email address, we're happy to come back to them and let them know what we're doing. So don't be afraid of technology, don't be afraid to engage with it. And if this is where your class is engaging, it's probably important for you to have an understanding of what may be debated or discussed. And then the third one, I would say, is to approach this from a positive place. and doing some preventative workshops or measures. But I would say that having activities in the classroom, even asking simple questions on, like, what do you see online? Have you ever seen something that may have been abusive? And what did you do and how did you react? Just to build those discussions and build empathy with the whole class would be really, really useful. So prevention is better than cure. Obviously, we know that bullying happens, regardless. But I think those 3 steps and those 3 tips are the ones that I would recommend they keep in mind.